painting to photography, from beadwork to woodworking. KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University presents Art Beat. Art Beat highlights the work and accomplishments of local artists from in and around Winona. Support for Art Beat is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
Today, we continue our coverage of the 2019 Great River Shakespeare Festival with a special edition of Art Beat focused on kids. In particular, child actors working with the festival. These young actors give us a unique perspective on acting and the festival itself. They talk about why they love acting, what's scary about it, or, as we found out, what's not scary about it, and why they have so much fun being part of the festival. I'm Bill Stoneberg with the youngest members of the cast of Macbeth at the Great River Shakespeare Festival on Art Beat.
I'm Lila Carlson. I'm 11 years old and I play a Macduff child.
I'm Emma Bucknam. I'm 17 and I play a Macduff child and a gentlewoman.
I'm Annie Gulke. I am 17 years old and I play a gentlewoman and a Macduff child.
My name is Colin Cada. I'm 16 years old and I play Fleance in an apparition.
I'm Sergio Heckman and I play a Macduff child. Oh, and I'm 10.
I'm Oscar Heckman. I am 13 and I play a Macduff child.
So, my first question is this your first time acting?
It's my first time acting and I auditioned because my mom said I should.
Me too.
And are you guys brothers?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, your mom got you into it? Is that right? Both of you?
Yeah.
Okay. And Oscar, is this your first time too?
Yes.
So what do you think so far?
It's fun.
Yeah? What's your favorite part about it?
The people are pretty cool.
Okay. How about you, Sergio? What's your favorite part?
I think meeting all the people too.
Okay. A lot of cool people to work with?
Yeah.
It's my first time professionally acting, like for a professional company.
Okay.
My favorite part is when we get to die.
Okay. So your favorite part's when you get to die?
Yeah.
Okay. We don't want to spoil anything, but how does that happen? Or maybe we can't say it because we don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, we can't say.
Okay, we can't say. So we've got to come and see the play to find out. Okay, cool. And how did you get into it? Is this your first time? This your first year?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you have to take any classes or anything like that?
I do camp every year, but I don't live here, so.
Okay, where are you from?
Texas.
You're from Texas. Wow. What do you think of Winona?
I like it.
Okay, cool. Okay, and then Emma, is this your first time and how did you get started? I'm guessing it's not.
This is my third time being part of the Great River Shakespeare Festival professional company, so that's really exciting. My first time acting was in a musical when I was 11 or so, and then I think I was either 11 or 12 my first year with GRSF in Merry Wives of Windsor, and I played a school child, so that was fun.
So you're kind of a seasoned pro at this then, right?
A little bit, maybe.
Okay. So when you started, when you were, 11 you said, what made you want to get into it?
My grandma always tells this story about the first time that I went to see a Great River Shakespeare Festival show. We saw Comedy of Errors when I was 8, and I laughed so hard throughout the entire thing. And then we went back and saw it again with my grandparents. And during intermission, I turned over to my grandma and said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, is be up on that stage. So it's just kind of been a lifelong dream.
Awesome. So really, Shakespeare is what got you into acting in the first place then, right? Okay, nice. And then, so Annie, how did you get into acting? Is this your first time with Shakespeare or?
So this is my first time acting professionally, especially with GRSF. I have been in over 30 shows, but this is like my first like official professional one. So it's really exciting. It's a really big deal. My first show that I was in was when I was 8. I was in The Sound of Music at the Home and Community Options show, HCO. And I got into it because ever since I was 6, I've taken private voice lessons. And so I loved to sing, and I was super, super dramatic as a baby. So my mom was like, drama and singing, that goes perfectly together to be in a musical. So I tried acting, and then that summer was the same summer I saw my first show at GRSF, and I was completely starstruck by the whole process. And so I've been coming ever since. I was, at one point, not anymore, I was the youngest donor at the festival. I just love it here. So it's really cool to be in a professional production with them.
So we have 2 seasoned pros, and Shakespeare got both of you into it, kind of. Well, Sound of Music and Shakespeare, yeah. So Colin, what got you into acting, and how did you get your start? How old were you?
Yeah, so I think I was in 2nd grade when I did my first show, was Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, also at Home and Community Options. And I just loved the people there and loved the process and kept doing it. And then last year I did Shakespeare for Young Actors here for the first time, and I just loved it so much, and all of the people were so welcoming. So it was great to be able to audition, and it's been super fun being in this year. So.
All right, so this is kind of something I was curious about, because I'm not an actor. I don't get on stage for anything. I work behind the scenes. So when you first started, like your first play, the first time you're on stage, were you nervous? And how did you deal with that? Sergio?
When I was backstage, I was kind of nervous, but when I got on stage, I wasn't nervous at all. Because I'd already went through it so many times, and I just knew it by heart.
Like Sergio, it's really scary before you get on stage, but then when you get on stage, it's like, oh, I know this, and it's kind of easy.
So really, it's all the rehearsal and stuff that you prepare for it, and then once you get up there, it's not so bad, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Emma?
For me, being on stage, I feel less nervous than I do in my everyday life. I struggle with really bad anxiety, and so when I'm up on stage, I can just let all of that go and commit myself to a character and to being someone completely different, and I feel a lot more, I guess, grounded than I do sometimes in real life. So I think it's really cool being up on stage because I can kind of just let everything else melt away.
Nice. So really, being on stage kind of helps with nervousness almost, It's becoming a different character and getting into that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Annie, were you nervous the first time you started?
I don't think I was. I remember the first performance I ever did was for Habitat for Humanity. I had it was a singing concert with a bunch of other kids, and I remember then I was super, super scared. But for my first show, first of all, it was such a small part that I had that there was, there wasn't any attention on me. But also, I don't know. It's kind of the thing where when you have that aha moment and you're like, this is my home. This is what I love doing most in the world. I found that just at a very young age, at the age of 8, the first time I stepped on stage. And I was in Mary Poppins with Colin here at a very young age. We were Jane and Michael Banks. That's why we're best friends, is because we had to live together literally. But I just remember at one point we're up, if you've ever been to the St. Mary's Theater, there's like the little alcoves up there, and we were up there, and it's like us supposed to be like looking out into the stars and stuff like that. And I just remember seeing like the full house of people and just like feeling this overwhelming rush of, I'm telling this story that is changing so many lives and impacting so many people, and it just takes all the nerves away because you just feel so proud and so happy that you can do that for people. So
nice. So really, you've found something that you feel so at home at that there's no nervousness involved, is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stage, my second home.
Your second home. Yeah. Great. So Colin, were you nervous the first time you stepped on stage?
It was so long ago, I don't remember. But I think similarly, the people a lot helped me to escape the nerves, and just acting with these people that I've known and have been super welcoming, just seeing them on the stage with me helps a lot. In this show, I'm more nervous for curtain call to not smile than I am the rest of the show. But I think even when I was younger, I think that having these people that were friends and almost family to me. Working with me was what helped get rid of that. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm hearing a lot about this is what you're kind of really comfortable doing, and the people make it really, really at ease there.
So I was pretty nervous backstage, but then when I got on stage, I wasn't super nervous because I realized that nobody else had ever probably read the script. And so they wouldn't know if I screwed up.
So basically, you figured, hey, if they don't know it, they will never. If you don't acknowledge the mistake, they won't see it either, right?
Probably not. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good philosophy. I like that. So Emma and Annie, you guys have a lot of experience with Shakespeare. Shakespeare kind of inspired you to get into acting, stuff like that. For the rest of you, were you familiar with Shakespeare before you started doing the Great River Shakespeare Festival? Okay, so Lyda, were you familiar with Shakespeare before you got started here?
Kind of, because I've lived here for summers my entire life. Okay. I was born here. Okay. So I've known it, and I've done Shakespeare for young actors as long as as soon as I could get started. So, yes.
Colin, how about you? Were you familiar with Shakespeare before you started with the company?
Not really. It was actually because of Annie that I got into it, because she was doing SYA 1 the year before I did SYA. Yeah, so 2 years ago. And she introduced me to it, and her family, I went to shows with her family, and I got to see, she was so excited to work through the text work and stuff, and she was showing me how the scansion was working and stuff. And I don't know, it just intrigued me, and I wanted to come back and see what it was all about.
So, Sergio, were you familiar with Shakespeare before you got started here with GRSF?
Not really. I had kind of never read any of the stories, so I almost knew nothing about it.
Do you think that maybe not being familiar with the stories, maybe you had a fresh take on it? Maybe you could, do it your own way and put your own kind of feelings into the character then?
Yeah.
Good answer. Short and sweet, right? How about you, Oscar? Were you familiar with Shakespeare before you got started here?
A bit. I went to a lot of the plays here at the Shakespeare Festival, with friends sometimes, but not super well. Just sometimes I went to the plays. That was basically it.
So some of you have done Shakespeare for young actors before. Do you think that next year you'll be back and doing this again? Lyda, do you think you'll be back next year?
Yes.
Okay. And so why is that? Other than your favorite part of being killed.
For the youth programs, it's really fun.
Okay.
To do it, and it's a few weeks, and then you learn a bunch of stuff, but you also get to play games.
Okay. So do you make a lot of friends? I'm assuming you guys kind of hang out and stuff. You're together a lot rehearsing, I'm guessing. So.
Well, for the younger program, it's only 1 week, and you don't know if the people in that group are ever going to come back. You make friends, but you don't know if you'll be able to keep your friends.
Okay. So you don't know if you'll see them again, but you get along, right, and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's got to be a plus, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Emma, do you think you'll be back next year?
Yeah, I definitely. I'm a senior. Yeah, I'll be a senior next year, and so that will be my last year to be eligible for Shakespeare for Young Actors. And I've done it since my first year that I was involved with a professional company. Tara Flanagan asked me if I'd be interested in also doing the youth summer program. So I said, of course. So this is my year 6 of the Shakespeare for Young Actors. And I think Jackson Mixon, who's also in this production with us, he's the only one who's left from my original year of SYA. But it's been really cool meeting all the different people who come every year. There's some people who come back and back again, and some people who we only see for a year. And it's just been really, really cool. And I'm hoping to have one last hurrah before I'm off to college.
And then maybe you can come back later as a professional actor, right?
We'll definitely see.
Okay. And Annie, do you think you'll be back next year?
I mean, yeah, of course. My biggest regret is not starting sooner. Yeah, I don't think there's any way that I couldn't be in it. It's like the highlight of my summer for sure, because since this is what I want to do, there is literally no better place for kids who are aspiring actors to grow up. Like, this is the best place for us to be, the most positive, happy, welcoming, family-like environment, and the best education we could possibly get. It's just, there's literally no downside. And yeah, it's just the biggest blessing ever. So of course I will be back.
I'm hearing a lot of positive energy and a lot of good feelings about this. This seems like a really good experience for you guys. How about you, Colin? Are you going to be back next year?
I hope so. Yeah, I think that, again, with all of the people that I've met through it and the friends that I've made, and I think that just doing the experience, I learn new things every time out of it. And this is only my second year. But I hope to keep learning from that experience. So, yeah, hopefully.
And that's kind of the goal, right? Keep learning and growing in this and becoming a better actor, right? Sergio, do you think you'll be back next year?
Hopefully.
Okay. What do you think? What does it depend on? You might have other things going on, or?
Maybe, and also if I don't get lucky when I audition.
Oh, there's always that, isn't there? The audition. Well, you'll probably make it, right? Okay. How about you, Oscar? You think you'll try to come back next year?
I might come back for acting next year. I don't know. Like, if I can get in, maybe, but I guess I'll just see.
Summer's a busy time, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of things to do. So, well, hopefully we'll see you back. You know, we talked about, what was it like your first time on stage and stuff like that, and if you were nervous. If there are kids out there that are listening and think, that they might want to be an actor or something like that, but they're kind of nervous about it or don't want to get on stage, they might not have the confidence, what would you tell them? Sergio, what would you tell them?
Do it anyway.
Yeah, why is that?
Because it's fun.
Good answer. Emma, what would you tell them?
I would say that if you want to get involved, the best way to do that is to just get involved in whatever way you can, whether it's through a school play or a community play or through something with GRSF, one of the summer programs. I mean, that's one of the best places, I think, that we have to get started on that. And I'm so glad that I live in Winona and was lucky enough to discover that program. And there's ones for kids of all ages, and I think that's a great place to get started. And it's a healthy, positive environment for actors, young actors especially. And I'd just say the best way to get started is just get started and get your foot in the door, and it's so worth it.
So what I'm hearing is just do it, right? Okay, so Annie, what would you say to someone who's thinking about it and might be nervous?
One thing that I always try to tell people is that it's so important that in life you never try to force your dreams away from you, because you have one life, you have one chance to be as happy as you possibly can. And if acting seems like something that just intrigues you so much, you just have to go for it, because chances are you're going to try it and you're going to fall completely in love with it, and it's going to become like your new favorite thing in the world. And you're never going to know that if you don't try, and you deserve to try. Everyone deserves a chance at their dreams. And so even if you're a kid, it doesn't matter how old you are, if there's an opportunity, I would so encourage you to take it, because you're so lucky to have a chance to begin with. And it can really just make your life so happy and fulfilled. So definitely don't push away your dreams. Just go for them. Reach for the stars. You deserve it.
So you kind of owe it to yourself to give it a shot, right? So, Colin, what would you say to kids out there that might be nervous to try it?
Well, I feel like a lot of times acting is a hard if you're thinking of doing it for a living, it's kind of a hard career to get into. And so when you tell people that that's what you want to do, a lot of people are going to say you can't do that, or that you should try something else, or that it's not going to work out. And I think that you just have to work hard and keep pushing at it. I mean, I didn't think that I would be here 4 years ago in, a junior high play. I didn't realize that I would be here now, let alone what I could be doing 10 years from now. And so I think that you just have to really go for it and really work hard, and you can achieve whatever you want to.
We got a group of really smart, talented kids here, I can tell. And we got some hands raised here, so we got to wrap it up soon. But so, Lyda, what do you have to say?
If you haven't tried it yet, you should just try it for at least a little bit of time. And then if you don't like it, you can always stop, but you should at least try it.
Right. I'm hearing that a lot. You owe it to yourself. Give it a shot, right? Right? Okay, Oscar, you had your hand up. What do you have?
Basically what Lyda said, you might as well try it because there's not really a downside to trying it. And if you don't like it, you can just not. So there's no point in not doing it or trying it.
If you never try, you never know, right?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So now that you guys are big time on the stage, have you signed any autographs yet? No?
Not yet.
Colin?
Maybe for like my aunt or my grandma or somebody. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Annie?
I have I know. It's wild. Not for this, but I was in The Little Mermaid a few years ago, and I wasn't Ariel, but I was one of the Mer sisters, and I guess there were some little girls who were really excited about me, so I got to take pictures with them and interact with them like a mermaid, and I got to sign autographs. It was pretty cool. So yeah, actually.
Okay, and Emma's got her hand up. What do you have?
I have a similar story here. I played the godmother in Cinderella this fall, and there were lots of little girls who'd come up dressed in their princess dresses, and they'd want the girl playing Cinderella and I to sign their programs, and it was really sweet.
Did you have to get your picture taken with them too?
Many times.
Okay, and Lyda, you have more to say?
I've signed autographs for my family, but no one else.
That counts, right? Right? They're proud of you, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, you guys. Thanks for being with us. You want to give a shout out to Great River Shakespeare Festival for us?
Come see Macbeth, please.
It's great.
It's
Come
really
see all the
good.
shows.
It's super awesome. You won't regret it. We'll say hi to you if you want us to.
Watch the play.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, guys.
Thank you so much. Yay.
Thanks again to the youngest members of the cast of Macbeth, Lyda Carlson, Emma Bucknam, Annie Galke, Colin Cada, Sergio Heckman, and Oscar Heckman for joining us today on Artbeat. I encourage anyone listening to get out and see these young performers doing what they love so much and have worked so hard for. For showtimes and tickets for Macbeth and all of the Great River Shakespeare Festival shows, go to grsf.org. For more conversations on art, tune into Artbeat Tuesdays at 12:30 right here on 89.5 KQAL. I'm Bill Stoneberg, and we've just heard from the youngest actors in Macbeth at the Great River Shakespeare Festival on Artbeat.
Artbeat is written and produced by KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us on the web at kqal.org.
Is art an important part of your life? Find podcasts of Artbeat and all your favorite KQAL shows by going to kqal.org and looking for program archives under the Media tab. Artbeat is made possible by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.